For more incredible action figures and collectibles, including the ones seen in this review, check out Lindsay's Toy Room at www.lindsays.toyroom.com. Hello YouTube, and welcome to Turmoil in the Toybox. I'm your host, Aaron Hauser, and today we're going to be reviewing the DC Collectibles Batman Arkham Origins Series 1 set of figures. This includes the Joker, Black Mask, Bane, and the Dark Knight himself, Batman. I picked up this series from Lindsay's Toy Room at lindsays.toyroom.com for about $22 per figure plus shipping and handling. Which was actually cheaper than the local comic shop, which had them at about around $25-26 per figure, so that's actually not a bad price. But I was just really thrilled to finally get a hold of these figures. I really loved Arkham Origins. It was a great game, introduced some really cool reinventions of some classic Batman characters, and the DC Collectibles line, as per usual, knocked these figures out of the park and did a great job with each of these guys as far as articulation, detailing, all of it really, really well done. So let's take a look at the figures. We'll start off by taking a look at Black Mask. This figure comes with two handguns. They have a decent amount of detailing on them. Fit nicely into his hand, which is sculpted to hold them perfectly. Fits right in the trigger there and everything. The figure himself has articulation in the head, which can go left, right, and kind of up and down. Very little range there. Articulation in the shoulders, in the elbows, up and down there, and then just forwards and backwards for the shoulders. And then the wrists are on a ball joint. There is no waist articulation, has articulation in the hips. There is no knee articulation, and there's kind of a bit of ankle articulation, but because of the way the pants are sculpted, you can't really rotate the foot left or right. Now, while I do think this is a very cool character and a very cool figure, it does have a bit of trouble standing up, so I've taken to using some of my McFarlane display stands for this figure, and that pretty much solved that. Now they don't sell the McFarlane stands anymore, but NECA apparently has finally released their figure display stands for their 7-inch figures, so you can use those, which I would encourage. But yeah, don't let that deter you from getting this figure. This is a very cool piece, and although he doesn't play a huge role in Arkham Origins, it is still a very cool display piece and a really nice addition to the Series 1 set. Next up, we've got the Joker. Now, this figure doesn't come with any accessories, but it is a fantastically well done figure. I'll start off with the only gripe I have about this figure, which is the same with the Black Mask, which is it has trouble balancing. And I think that's because the way that the back of his jacket is sculpted, it kind of leans back slightly. It looks very cool on display. However, it does have a tendency to tip him over. So like I said, with a display stand on the base of the figure, no problems whatsoever. So, that said, really love the amount of detailing on this figure. Great facial sculpt. The clothing and everything looks fantastic. There is articulation on this one in the ankles, in the knees, in the hips, in the shoulders, in the elbows, rotates left and right and up and down. The wrists are on a ball joint, and then the head can also move around on a ball joint. Give you kind of a 360 here of the figure. And like I said, even though this does kind of affect the balance of the figure, I do think it looks cool. It looks very iconic to the way his character is designed in Arkham Origins. And overall, even though it didn't come with any other accessories, I still think this is one of the stronger figures in the series, and I'm really excited to see if they release any sort of variants or anything for this guy in the future. Next, we've got Bane, and this is by far my favorite figure of this series. As you can see, he stands way above the rest, and he has a ton of fantastic detailing to him. They did a great job with all of the venom piping that goes around him, up and down the back there. Great job on different things like the boots, the way that those are all designed, all of the armor, everything looks fantastic on this guy. And I especially love the way they did the mask. They gave that sort of cool paint smear look that you can see that he does, kind of like it's been almost brushed on unequally in different places. Looks really, really cool. So as far as articulation, he's got articulation in the head, in the shoulders, in the elbows, in the wrists, in the legs, sort of flexibility in and out, not a whole lot. Articulation in the knees, and then right above the boot there. Now, this guy does stand a lot better by himself, but he does have, if you want to use a display stand, he does have a peg hole in the bottom of his boot there. And overall, I thought they did a fantastic job with this figure. Not only is it the biggest figure, but it just looks so damn cool. I love the gauge on there. That's very cool, very nicely done. And then this is the only thing that I thought was interesting about this. This isn't a really bad point on the figure, but right out of the box, some of these piping portions are actually detached. So if for some reason you overextend one of the joints, it doesn't just snap off and then you can't put it back. You could always glue these in, but some of the pipes do detach and then easily fit back in. So to me, while that may bug some, I thought that was kind of a nice touch so that you didn't accidentally, rip one and then you've got a broken point that you have to glue back in, and it just looks weird. But overall, I thought this is a really well done piece. They did a great job on everything. The hands, like I said, the piping I think looks really cool. All the different detail parts on his outfit. Overall, a really, really cool piece, and probably the strongest of the Arkham Origins Series 1. Last up, we've got Batman, and this is definitely my favorite Batman figure that DC Collectibles has released so far. Not only personally is it my favorite version of the Dark Knight's armor and design and everything, but this has the most articulation, a beautiful, beautiful sculpt to it, and overall is just a really well done figure, making it easily my favorite Batman figure that I have seen so far. So, jumping into detailing, this has a great facial sculpt. Really well done. Love the dirt around the face and everything there. The eyes look fantastic. The cowl looks perfect. Nice cape, and this is not a huge chunk of plastic like it kind of was on the Arkham Asylum and Arkham City figures. This is a bit more flowing, doesn't really weigh him down towards the back at all, so it works perfectly for a cape instead of being sort of a lean upon for the figure. Great job on the torso there. I really loved how they did the individual paneling. It looks fantastic. Great job on the utility belt. The legs, the boots, everything look great. This figure also does have the peg hole if you want to put it on a stand too. So, taking a look at articulation, like I said, the cape is way more flexible on this one. So you don't have to worry about it sort of getting in the way if you wanted to do any different poses or anything like that. It has a lot of flexibility to it. The head is on a ball joint. The shoulders flex up and down, in and out. Have a lot of movement on there. The elbows flex in and out, and then left and right as well. Articulation on the wrists. There is a mid-torso flex point on here, which does sort of mesh nicely with this sculpt. Normally I'm not a huge fan of those, but it actually works nicely with the paneling and everything. It's very seamless on this figure. Articulation in the hips, forwards, backwards, in and out, and then it does have that side-to-side flexibility. And I don't think, yeah, it doesn't have any... Oh, it does actually on this one, I think. This one does have waist articulation in the middle there. Very nice. Kind of a surprise. Hadn't seen that before. This one does have double jointed knees, which is really cool, something that's become a lot more common on, say, NECA figures right now. So you can actually get a lot more movement there. A lot of rotation there. Rotates at the knee, as well as those 2 flex points there. Also has ankle articulation. Overall, this is a great figure. It doesn't have any accessories to it, which it would have been nice if they would have included like a batarang or his grappler gun or something like that. But overall, this is just a beautifully done figure. Beautifully done figure. And while I thought the Bane was my favorite from this series because of the sheer size and the detailing, this ended up being my favorite Batman figure, period. So I'm really excited about this guy. I ended up actually buying 2 of him so that I could have one on my desk at work and then one in my personal collection, just because I love it so much. So overall, fantastic piece, and definitely one of the high points of this series. And as you can see, there's a lot of high points to choose from. You've got Joker, Black Mask, and Bane all together finally. And, you know, not only do you get a lot of bang for your buck as far as the detailing and everything, but the display value in this specific series is fantastic. So, like I said, these are all available on Lindsay's Toy Room at lindsays.toyroom.com, and they run for about $22 each. And I would definitely get them sooner rather than later, especially the Bane, Joker, Batman. I think you'll probably see the Black Mask one stick around just because it's not particularly the strongest of the series. But I know the Bane one in particular is going for anywhere from about $30 to $45, depending on what site you get it from. So I would get him as soon as possible if you are a big Arkham Origins fan. So that is about it for this review. If you have any questions about the figures, just leave them in the comments below, and feel free to check out some of my other reviews, including reviews that I've done on figures for the Arkham Asylum and Arkham City DC Collectibles figures. So that's about it. Thanks for watching.